Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a pleasure to be here, and I would like to thank the President of ATAMA, Dr. Sabir Abdullah, for this wonderful opportunity, and the President of the Oriental Academy of Alternative Medicine Science, and the organizers of this national conference. Today, the topic which we are going to discuss is the significance of greater yang, which means Tai Yang. See, first you should understand one thing, being an acupuncturist, this science is not a science which is written by a human. This science is given by the God for the humanity. The science is given by the God for the humanity. So, the learning about the science is very limited. It is an ocean. We need to understand the science so deep, then only we can understand what is the exact cause for the root of a disease, why the human beings are behaving like this nowadays. If you say something should not do, nowadays we are ready to do that first. Okay? So here we are going to understand about the whole process involved in the disease process, for which we need to know about Tai Yang. What is it? If you take in a healthy person, if the person is healthy means he should have an immunity and then he should have a mobility. The mobility in the sense, the skeletal muscle movement, all the joints attached with muscles, and then smooth muscle movements like your lung, spleen, kidney, heart, and your kidney. All these functions to be automatically run by itself with a specific force. So the mobility is very essential in terms of healthy person. The similar way, immunity is very important. Today, the scenario is very crucial. People are more threatened by the society because of the communicable diseases. There are a lot of diseases they discussed. Today's COVID. They found recently some virus called the Zambia virus, which is a frozen virus, the deadliest virus that is going to be boom, and that gives you a lot of complications. And now in southern areas, people are more affected with H3N2 kind of an influenza virus. What is all this? We as an acupuncturist, we don't care about this. It is not that this is not need for us. The science of us is beyond this virus and bacteria. So you need to understand what is exactly about this. And in other angle, so-called non-communicable diseases, people with the age of 25 and 30, they are getting heart attack. People with 20, they are taking multiple antihypertensive drugs. People with younger age, they are having too many autoimmune diseases, and nowadays they are saying that the cancer is very common nowadays. Why all this? What is the root behind this? Just look at, fortunately the cover page of your souvenir book has a beautiful picture. By knowingly, unknowingly, the picture has placed there. It is an interaction of a fire and water. If you understand about the pair, the Tai Yang pair is Si and Ub. Isn't it? Tai Yang pair is Si and Ub. What is the essential need of this pair in the human body. Why this meridian exists on the entire back? Why this meridian travels on the exterior aspects of the body? Why the organs considered as a small intestine and the UB has located in the internal aspects of the body? There are core connection with this. We cannot just cross. This is the meridian which is flowing from the finger. The small intestine starts from the finger and it moves above. It is ascending meridian. The UB meridian starts from the orbit of the eye and it is descending about. It is not just like science. We cannot cross with this few words. You should understand the relationship of this. This pair is an essential pair for the transportation of a fire. This pair is an essential pair for the transportation of a heat. That's why in Quran Allah says very clearly, وَمِن كُلِّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَا زَوْجَيْنِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكُّرُونَ. I have created everything in pair. If you understand the relationship of this pair, then you know what is exactly this. This will do in the body. The SI is a meridian. We can say the SI meridian is located on the earth because which is present in the lower area. The meridian travels from lower area to the upper area. So the meridian travels from earth to heaven. UB as a meridian travels from the heaven to earth. It's a descending meridian and such a big meridian in the body. There are totally 67 points in the body. So this is a track of a small intestine and the UB. Before discussing with this picture, you should know why all the elements are having only 2 organs, but fire has 4 organs. Why? What is the reason behind this? Any thought process on that? Why fire element 4 organs? Why all the other elements are only 2? Okay, let me explain that. The fire, 2 category of a fire is required. The one fire is responsible for a destruction. Another fire is responsible for a growth. Okay? When you analyze about the incubation and all that, during incubation period, they'll apply a constant fire for a particular period of time to get the growth. Usually in your home, you are burning the burner, which is essential for destroying the food material. It is a destructive fire. So the major fire, the heart and SI, falls under destructive in nature. And as before the session, sir discussed, pericardium is not the outer layer. It is a heart protector, which is called Yuan Shen, which is a heart protector, which is exist here, that has to decide you whether you are doing right or wrong. That has to guide your path. The pathway of wellness is based on the travel path of pericardium and triple warmer. Okay? In Suratul Ghashiyah, Allah asks you a question. أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. Why this question to the humanity? The camel which is there in the desert, but the camel can have the capability of to store the water for 60 days. The question gives you a relationship of a water fire. Here, the SI is a transporter of a fire. Heart is a yin organ, is a transporter of a Shen. When the Shen exceeds, in the morning discussion, Professor Lohia sir said that Western medicine doesn't know the etiology, the cause of the disease. Many diseases are noticed as an unknown etiology. But if you understand this track, you know the etiology of the disease. Why this? And on the first session, you have had a wonderful talk with Dr. Subhash Mani sir moon phases of the health. The SI meridian is 1 to 3, followed by a UB meridian which is 5 to 7, and then followed by a kidney meridian which is, 1 to 3 is a SI, 3 to 5 is a UB, and then followed by a 5 to 7. The 5 to 7, you had a discussion in the morning, moon phase is 27 days, your kidney point is also 27. Isn't it? So this meridian has to given the message to the kidney. When this meridian gives the miscommunication to the kidney, when the message is miscommunicated, people, they may have an excessive release of pro-inflammatory mediators because of a fire. If you know all the disease, even diabetes, the recent research says that it is excessive expression of interleukin 6 on the pancreas. If you look at the rheumatoid arthritis, is an autoimmune disease, asthma is an autoimmune disease, all the autoimmune disease, there is an imbalance between pro-inflammatory mediators and anti-inflammatory mediators. The pro-inflammatory mediators excessive secretion is because of uncontrolled fire dissemination on the UB tract. That is why your body does not have a saturation effect of a water. You are suffering with a fire. That's why all the diseases we are classified as an acute inflammatory disease or a chronic inflammatory disease. So the inflammation, it is passing towards, Western science says that SI, small intestine, is responsible for an absorption of nutrients. That not only absorbs the nutrient, that also absorbs the shen of yours. That shen is the root guider for the kidney that has to send a message associated with earth. Then the kidney has to decide what to be done. What is the personality is needed. Whether he need a fire, he is anger, he is having a fear, he is having a frightened emotion, he is having any grief in his heart, sadness. Based on that, I have to design my nucleus and then I have to execute the material. So the independent is responsible for the generation of material because of the SI. Look at the time. 1 to 3 is SI. The sun is on the peak, starts to fall down on the earth. 3 to 5, it is on the earth, the fire is getting completely mixed and then it has to penetrate into the kidney, into the water level. In the human body, if you take cell membrane, the membranes are made up of earth. Because the membranes are made up of phospholipids bilayer, that receives the communication, fire, through your neurotransmitter, through your hormones, that has to communicate to the nucleus. The nucleus is a coolant zone. It's a water based on the message which is received through your earth that has to communicate. So thereby, the descending fire on the water within your body, the track of UB and SI. The SI and UB has entire posterior areas covered by this meridian. That meridian is responsible for Wei Qi. Wei Qi in the sense protective energy. When you are having a proper warm Qi, because when 1, 2, 3 descends with an optimum fire, night time 1, 2, 3 liver expression will be in a proper warmness. It does not carry a heat. If it has a warmness, you never need to worry about on the outside area, whether it is a COVID or a H1N1 or a Ebola, none of the bacteria, none of the virus can invade in your system because your UB tract is very strong enough to protect the environmental pathogen. That is why Tai Yang is a protective layer for the human being. Come to the Yin Qi, which is nutritive Qi, which is also derived from the blood. We all know through our science, not by a Western science, The liver is a store organ for the blood. And during night, it has to process the chi. It has to circulate the chi to across the area. Because of your SI and UB tract, if fire exceeds on the liver generate excessive heat, and that is the reason for excessive triglyceride, excessive productions of a glucagon, excessive production of a cortisol, excessive productions of all depressive neurotransmitter. You are not having mood elevations, and there is an excessive release of coagulating factor which causes the coagulations of a blood. Plus, you are all addicted for a multiple infectious diseases and other complicated diseases. So please, none of the medical system, Siddha, Ayurveda, Unani, Western science, reveals this mechanism. The only system of acupuncture reveals this mechanism for which you need to understand about the meridian process. So look at this. Immunity, it is not the way how you are eating the food. It is the way how you are immersing the chi within the water with the help of lung through UB tract. When the chi is completely immersed, the repulsive force from your body is very strong enough that does not allow you to have any invasions from external environment. Similarly, your body will have a proper balance, which means homeostasis. You won't have excessive elevated level of inflammatory mediators. In modern science, whenever you have an elevated eosinophils, they may say allergy. It's not because of an allergy, it is your acidity. Your body is carrying excessive fire. That fire increases acidic philic nucleus, which is eosinophil. That is why your body is elevated eosinophils. Similarly, the patient is also having elevated level of IgE, which is an immunoglobulin derived from WBC. So, in order to take care of communicable diseases as well as non-communicable diseases, you should understand the basis of the work of the Thai Yang meridian tract. How you can reduce the impact of a fire in the Thai Yang only by counseling the patients, proper counseling, ask them to get away from unnecessary grief, ask them to get away from unnecessary expectations. You know, our science clearly states that when the people are metal constituent in nature, they behave a conditioned, cautious cleanliness. They won't agree to sit on the chair just like how all the people are doing. They'll wash the chair with 10 to 15 times with the sanitizers. They don't use other people's kerchief and all that. They are very aware of utilizing all this. Because of the awareness, their lung chi descending capacity doesn't descend properly. They'll have all autoimmune conditions. So, educate the patient to accept first. And educate the patient, do not have a fear on the health first. Synchronize the patient health based on the day and night circulation. Okay? Look at this. This is a fluid physiology. This clearly states that the pure fluid getting is absorbed from the small intestine and then it will enter into the UB. From UB, the fluid moves like a mist on the triple warmer area. That's why in Quran, the Suratul Ghashiyah chapter by itself is explained, it is a surrounding one. The surrounding one, on the Quran, Allah discusses about this fluid. The entire fluid is surrounded by your body, which is not extremely heat. Similarly, which is not extremely cold. That is a warm nature of a fluid. Because of your behavior, when you disturb the fluid, that fluid become a heat that can induce an inflammatory process. That fluid may become a chill that can give you immobility process. The stiffness on the back, stiffness on the heel, stiffness on the neck, stiffness on the hand, all because of lack of kidney yang, because the kidney being a coolant, it doesn't receive the warmness of a chi from the body. It cannot express the warm chi to the system. That is the reason you are affected by peripheral obstructions of a mobility. That is why we are using the master point of a due meridian. Anybody? Which is the point which is called master point of a due meridian? Due meridian master point. SI3 is a due meridian master point, which will activate the entire back. When a person is having low back pain, when a person is having on the upper back on the pain on the neck, when the person is having immobility on the wrist, no need to claim the disease as a rheumatoid arthritis or a hemiplegia. I don't know about that. The fire, the warmness is not spread by the liver, so I have to activate the wood nature of a point, which is SI3, by activating that activate the due system, due meridian, which provides the yang to my system, so I will have proper mobility. And then another beautiful point which is on the same track, which is called UB62. What is the name of the point? What is the class of the point? Anybody? UB62. The point is classified under Yang Healing Vessel Master Point. It is not just a classification by a word, which has a strong mechanism within the body, how Yang is influenced by this point. By applying UB62, it activates the dermatomes which is present in that area, which promote the sclerotomes of the sacral region. Thereby, it promotes the homeostasis mechanism behind sacro and cranial imbalance. It relaxes your body so that you are moving. Each and every point has a strong mechanism how it works, based on which we need to select the point, for which we need to understand each and every meridian process. Why lung is descending? Why large intestine is ascending? What is the necessity for this pair? Why metal element, lung and large intestine is pair? If you search it on a Google, none of the Google give you an answer. None of the Google page gives you an answer, because this answer you won't get it from the net. You have to read the ancient text that guides you what is the chi process in every meridian track. Look at the first picture, first top, the greater yang, the channel and organ. When the channel is very strong, it does not attack by a wind heat or a wind cold. What is wind heat and wind cold? How we can understand as an acupuncturist? The COVID, H1N1, chikungunya, all the viruses are cryogenic viruses, cold-inducing virus. Hepatitis, cytomegalovirus, Klebsiella, Salmonella typhi, Peptococcus, Streptococcus, all are wind heat pathogens. It affects the upper body predominantly, or the upper abdomen area. By differentiating the signs of yours, you have to teach them. For them, how to build immunity. Immunity is not only by taking a food. You have to apply a peace. Peace apply to the UB, so that suppressing fire receive the chi from the lung. That is why there is a strong relationship between lung and UB. Early morning 3 to 5 is associated with lung. Afternoon 3 to 5 is associated with UB. When the descending of Tai Yin at Tai Yang level is good, and then you don't worry about Ju Yin as well as Shayo Yang, the functional Yang as well as the final Yin, absolute Yin levels are good in your body. So we as an acupuncturist, we are the people, we have to educate the community about the science. So strong about the science, understand about the science, and express the need of the humanity. Don't threat the humanity with too much of complicated words by putting a lot of technical words. Make them to understand how you have to synchronize the day and earth, the day and night. How you have to preserve the health of earth. How you have to potentiate the action of a lung. How you can communicate the lung and kidney axis. When the kidney sufficiently, if inefficiently receives the chi, automatically it will trigger the angiogenesis process by calling angiotensinogen. You will have a vasoconstriction and you will have all vascular abnormalities that again leads to fluid imbalances. Automatically cardiac output will get difference and you will have a heart attack or a hypertension, myocardial infarctions, etc., etc., etc. So dear doctor, being an acupuncture physician, understand the science deep. Thanks for the opportunity. In case of any questions, you can raise your questions. It's your time. Thank you. Thanks a lot.